In June 2020, a 20-year-old college student named Alexander Kearns checked his Robinhood account and saw a negative balance of $730,000. He wrote a note asking how someone with no income could owe that much money. Then he took his own life. The next morning, Robinhood sent him an email. His actual balance was $16,000 positive. It was a display error. This isn't a story about a software glitch. It's about how a company made $1.8 billion by hacking the most powerful bias in your brain. Here's a quick test. Imagine I offer you a coin flip. Heads, you win $100. Tails, you lose $100. Do you take it? Most people don't. It treats us. Even though mathematically it's a fair bet. Now imagine a different scenario. I walk up to you and hand you $100. No strings attached. Again. Then I offer the same coin flip. Heads, you keep the $100 and win another $100. Tails, you lose the $100 I just gave you. Do you take it now? Most people still don't, even though you're literally back where you started if you refuse. This is loss aversion, and it's not a flaw in your thinking. It's a feature of human evolution. For our ancestors, finding extra food was nice. But losing your stored food could mean death. The pain of loss had to be stronger than the pleasure of gain, or we wouldn't have survived as a species. In 1979, psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky quantified this. Through a series of experiments, they found that losses feel approximately twice as powerful as equivalent gains. Lose $100, and the pain you feel is roughly equal to the pleasure you'd get from winning $200. This asymmetry shapes everything about how we handle money. It's why you hold on to losing stocks, hoping they'll recover. It's why you check your portfolio obsessively during a market dip, but barely glance at it during rallies. It's why the fear of missing out, FOMO, feels more urgent than the satisfaction of a smart, patient investment. And it's exactly what Robinhood's product designers understood when they built their app. Because here's what most people don't realize. You're not afraid of missing out on gains. You're terrified of experiencing the loss of not participating while everyone else does. That distinction? It's worth billions. Let's go back to 2013. Robinhood launches with a simple promise: commission-free trading. The company's name itself is brilliant marketing, suggesting they're stealing from Wall Street elites to give to everyday people. But the real innovation wasn't eliminating fees, it was the design. Robinhood's co-founders, Baiju Bhatt and Vlad Tenev, both Stanford grads with backgrounds in high-frequency trading, made one critical decision. They'd make stock trading feel like a mobile game. When you buy a stock, confetti explodes on your screen. The interface uses bright colors and simple swipe gestures. Everything's designed to feel instant and frictionless. By 2020, Robinhood had 13 million users, most of them under 35. Then came the pandemic. Millions of people stuck at home with stimulus checks and nothing to do. Robinhood added 3 million new accounts in the first quarter alone. And this is where loss aversion gets weaponized. The app started sending push notifications, not just account updates. Alerts about stocks that were moving. Tesla's up 12% today. Your watch list has changed. Bitcoin just hit a new high. Each notification created a micro moment of anxiety. What are you missing? Everyone else is making money right now. Everyone else is making money right now. Are you being left behind? The app offered 24/7 trading through extended hours and cryptocurrency markets that never close. There was always something to do, always something to check, always a new opportunity that might slip away. In December 2020, Robinhood settled with the SEC for $65 million. The charges? Failing to disclose payments from trading firms for routing customer orders and giving customers inferior trade prices that in total cost them $34.1 million. Even after taking into account the savings from zero commissions. Translation: the app was free, but the actual trading cost users more than they would have paid in traditional commissions. But here's the thing. The settlement didn't slow Robinhood down at all. Because by then, they'd discovered something more valuable than transaction fees. They'd learned how to keep you trading. January 2021. GameStop stock is trading at $17. A community on Reddit's Wall Street Bets forum starts buying shares and call options, driving the price up. By January 28, GameStop hits $483, a 700% gain in less than a month. Robinhood accounts exploded. The platform was processing 1.6 million trades per minute at peak. And this is where loss aversion's evil twin appears: anticipated regret. Research by psychologists Marcel Zeelenberg and Risk Peters showed that humans don't just feel regret after making a mistake. We feel it in advance, imagining how terrible we'll feel if we miss out. Picture this scenario. It's January 27th. Your coworker just made $40,000 on GameStop. Your college roommate texted you about his gains. You're seeing posts on Twitter, screenshots of six-figure account balances from people who bought in early. Every time you open Robinhood, there's GameStop. Trending, moving, going up. The question isn't, should I buy this stock? The question your brain is actually asking is, can I emotionally handle watching everyone else get rich while I do nothing? That's not greed. That's loss aversion. You're not chasing the gain. You're avoiding the psychological loss of being the person who watched it happen and did nothing. Robinhood's interface made this worse in subtle ways. The app showed you popular stocks and what other users are buying. It displayed real-time price movements with exciting graphics and big numbers. It made buying as easy as liking an Instagram post. On January 28, Robinhood restricted trading on GameStop and other meme stocks. Users couldn't buy, only sell. The company claimed it was due to capital requirements from clearinghouses, which was technically true. But the timing destroyed trust. Millions of retail traders watched the price collapse while being locked out. The psychological impact was devastating. Not because people lost money on the way down, but because they felt robbed of agency, experiencing loss without the ability to act. Within months, multiple congressional hearings examined Robinhood's practices. But the real damage was already done. Not to Robinhood's business, though. In July 2021, Robinhood went public at a $32 billion valuation. In the 1980s, a slot machine designer named Ing Telnaes created something called near-miss programming. The reels would show you two jackpot symbols, with the third one landing just above or below the pay line. You didn't win, but your brain registered it as almost winning, which activated the same loss aversion response as an actual loss. You were so close, you can't stop now. The Nevada regulators eventually restricted the practice. But the psychological principle lived on. And app designers noticed. Natasha Dow-Schul, an MIT anthropologist, spent years studying gambling addiction and wrote a book called Addiction by Design. Her research showed how casinos use lights, sounds, and interface design to create what she calls the machine zone, a trance-like state where time disappears and you keep playing. Robinhood's lead designer, Gagan Biani, openly discussed in interviews how they studied gaming apps to increase engagement. The confetti animation, borrowed from casual mobile games. The instant feedback on every action. Standard dopamine engineering. The watch lists and price alerts, the same mechanism as push notifications from social media apps that have been optimized for years to make you check your phone. But there's a crucial difference between missing a social media update and missing a financial opportunity. Social FOMO makes you feel anxious. Financial FOMO makes you feel poor. That's loss aversion on steroids. Other platforms noticed Robinhood's success and copied the playbook. Webull added gamification features. Infusion. Even established brokers like Charles Schwab and Fidelity redesigned their apps with more colorful interfaces and mobile-first experiences. In 2021, FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, issued warnings about digital engagement practices in trading apps. They specifically called out features that encourage frequent trading without regard to customer interests. But here's what's remarkable. After all the scandals, congressional hearings, and regulatory fines, Robinhood's daily active users didn't drop. They grew. Because the app isn't just exploiting a psychological bias. It's providing something that traditional investing never did. The feeling that you're in the game, that you're not being left behind, that you're doing something about the nagging fear that everyone else is getting ahead while you watch. So what do you do with this information? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't eliminate loss aversion. It's hardwired, but you can recognize when it's being exploited. First, watch for artificial urgency. Any platform that uses phrases like trending now, most popular, or don't miss, is triggering your fear of loss, not your opportunity for gain. Real investments don't expire in the next 5 minutes. If you feel rushed, that's design, not reality. Warren Buffett has a useful rule here. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Every notification telling you a stock is moving is essentially asking, are you patient or are you scared of missing out? Second, recognize phantom losses. Remember that coin flip from the beginning? When you don't buy a stock that goes up, you haven't lost anything. You never had it. Your net worth is exactly the same as it was yesterday. But loss aversion makes phantom losses feel real. Your brain processes, I could have made money, the same way it processes, I lost money. They're not the same thing. One affects your bank account. The other only affects your ego. When you catch yourself thinking, I should have bought that, stop and reframe. I made a decision with the information I had. The outcome doesn't change whether it was a good decision. Third, audit your decision-making environment. This is the most practical one. That make you check it. If an app is designed to make you check it constantly, delete it from your phone. You can still access your brokerage account through a web browser on your computer. But removing the friction-free access removes 90% of the impulse trades. Consider this. Studies of investor returns consistently show that the more frequently someone trades, the worse they perform. A famous analysis by Brad Barber and Terence O'Dean of 66,000 households found that investors who traded the most earned annual returns of 11.4%, while the market returned 17.9%. The most patient investors beat the active traders by over 6% per year. The people who checked their accounts the least made the most money. Let that sink in. Here's what Alexander Kearns' story teaches us. That $730,000 display error wasn't just a glitch. It was the logical endpoint of an app designed to make every loss feel immediate and catastrophic, and every gain feel like you need to risk more to keep it. After his death, Robinhood added phone support, improved their options education, and changed how they display account balances. But they didn't change the fundamental design. Because the design works exactly as intended. It keeps you engaged. It keeps you trading. And every time you trade, someone makes money. The question is whether that someone is you, or the platform that convinced you that not trading was a loss you couldn't afford. If this video changed how you see your trading app, hit subscribe. We break down the psychology behind money decisions most people never notice. Next up, why salary transparency makes everyone feel underpaid, even when they got a raise.